welcome back to Hard Decisions and One-Way Streets. This is part 2 of 3 of our story. If you're just tuning in, please make sure you go back and listen to part 1 if you haven't already, or this part's going to make even less sense than it might already. We're getting into the middle of the story, and I just appreciate everyone listening and coming back. Hope you're enjoying it. All the best.
Life is full of hard decisions. When a one-way streets,
Letter 4. Surroundings. Dear T, so let me describe the current place I find myself. Maybe like thinking of the last place I saw my keys, backtracking and describing that, I can start to piece together some of this puzzle. I remember wanting to see you. I remember how much I always look forward to seeing you. How much your love made me who I always thought I could be. I think when things went sideways, my last thoughts were of you. I remember my job, mundane, normal, maybe a slight bit of respect or whimsy some days. I remember my favorite dinner and my top 5 favorite movies. If you have not seen Tombstone, then stop reading this letter. You're not the person I'm writing to. I remember normal. But now I wake up here in this room and on the surface this is normal. As normal as a room you have never been in can be. Let's take note of some of the surroundings. There are 4 walls, 1 ceiling, and 1 floor. There's a bed, a desk, and a large bookshelf full of an odd variety of books and an empty picture frame on top. I'll get back to that bookshelf later because I'm pretty sure the books have changed since I've got here, but there are windows. I can see down into a yard of, well, whoever's house this is. I can see a long winding road out into the woods. I mean, no one locks someone in a room beside a McDonald's. It has to be a long, winding road in the woods. Pretty sure that's a rule. 3 large windows to let all the sun and all the dark in a person could ever need. There's a desk with writing utensils fulfilling their usefulness by what you're reading. There's a chest locked up tight, and it's really heavy. I can't move it. There's a closet. Nothing in there. There's a bathroom with aqua blue walls and coral fixtures. I hate beach-themed bathrooms. Why does everyone think beach when they think bathroom? I mean, I got water, but just water connects you right to the beach. I don't know. It seems like a little bit of a stretch. There's a rug. I love this rug. There's design in it that I can and will and have wasted a whole day counting and thinking what colors are in there. The rest of the wood floor seeps out and under the rug to touch the walls. In the far corner across from the bathroom there's a banister and a set of stairs down. I'm on the 2nd floor of this building, it would seem. At the bottom of the stairs there's a door. I mean, a simple wood door. Doors are made for use, for in and out, right? But this one not so much. Maybe the thing that's put me in here just uses it as a barricade. Impassable terrain, clogging a particulars of non-use. I mean, it's all my perspective. The door might as well be a drawbridge with a moat. You would hate this room. You would hate the quaint simpleness of it all. But then if you spent some time here, you could come to enjoy some of its more fantastic features. At least once a day, something in the ceiling makes a noise. Some days it's like a person dragging a bag across the floor, back and forth. Some days it's fluttering and skittering. Some days I swear I hear the ocean. Maybe that's the bathroom. On most days, there's something different in the drawers in the desk. Some days I find pens and pencils and utilitarian items. Some days I find large pointy teeth that I assume are from rare snakes and sharks, but I don't have Google here, so how would I know anything? One day there was a picture of a family in the drawer. I have no idea who they were. It seemed nice enough, but I don't know. Maybe it's the one left from the frame on top of the bookcase, one of those stock families you see at the art store. One day the drawers were filled with dark black goop that I was too scared to touch. I guess, though, at this point, trying to make out what's going on here is pretty futile. Something outside of my normal realm of understanding. But something is changing this room day to day. Something's keeping me alive in here. Every time I see a strange shape fly by the window, I wonder if I'm getting cabin fever or if this place really is something different. I mean, I've seen those shows on TV where they debunk myths and ghost stories, but I'm pretty pragmatic. And I really think something here is outside the normal human existence. Okay, I hope I have freaked you out because I'm freaked out. I hope you are in a nice normal room and nothing strange is happening. I hope you are somewhere living a normal life, just without one certain thing. Telling you about my room didn't help me find my keys. It didn't help me piece together the puzzle I'm faced with. It didn't help me escape. But it did help me miss you. All the best. Letter 5. Long nights, bookcases, and family. Dear T, tonight is a long night. Not long in the sense that I'm tired or that I can't sleep or something like that. It just seems like it's night for a really long time. It's in a normal night, I could ignore if something creepy crawled over one of those windows, all carapace and spindly appendages, or those sounds from the attic, those horrible dragging sounds, like someone filled a burlap sack with corn and misfortune, and in homage to Sisyphus, just dragged it back and forth over and over, keeping away the light. Nights like this I tend to read. I read for pleasure outside of this room. I remember talking with you about what books I had to read or was reading at the time. You were maybe not as big a reader as I, but you were eloquent nonetheless. The books in the room here, they change every now and then, and without the courtesy of notification. Some days the books are more academic, with Euclidean geometry and physics and, well, other math-related bindings of imagination. Some days the books are in languages I can't read, and I assume are real languages, but sometimes it seems like there's no way anyone could read some of those markings. Often it's a mixture from sports to human interest to fiction to nonfiction, and the list goes on. I always preferred learning over sitting, so having these books fulfills that need for me. Vegging out was never my thing, and locked in here, vegging out would seem appropriate enough, I suppose. But I throw myself at these books, trying to make some sort of rhyme or reason out of the change, out of the themes, but nothing pieces itself together. One day there was a book about jailbreaks and how they were done and how I found it insanely condescending. But every day I still go and I check and I see what is new in my own personal rotation library. Every day or night or day-night thing that's going on, I walk over to the bookshelf and I check to see if there was something new or interesting in the rotation. The shelves are always full. The frame on the top of the bookshelf is always empty. Just wood and glass, but the innards, the guts of this Confusion just changes from time to time. I guess that's true of everything, though. I've changed so much. A friend of mine told me once, change is hard, change is messy. I didn't know what that meant for a long time, but the older I get, the more I change, the more I try to change things, the harder and messier it gets. I've changed so much from being at home with my family to out in the world, and then most importantly with you. My family was coarse and rough-hewn, and I loved them so much. I wonder if they even know I'm gone. I mean, however long I have been here might be cause enough for concern. Maybe they've just noticed, yet they think I'm in one of those hermit phases. Their imprint on me has steered me to who I am now. You were not as close to your family. I was becoming your family. I was imprinting on you every day. All that soul stuff and love at first sight, gibberish. All I know is that I wanted you to be my family. Sitting here alone and trapped there's no one else I'd rather see. All the best. Letter 6. It's a dangerous game. Dear T, so have you ever seen that movie High Fidelity? They play this game in the movie where they often quiz each other on top 5 things. It's mostly about music in the movie. The game goes on to help round out some of the ideas in the movie, but I've always liked the idea of quantifying things like that. Maybe it's the artsy side of me, but that subjective like or dislike of something always held water for me. Top 5 movies. Number 5, Searching for Bobby Fischer. Number 4, Predator. Number 3, The Last Boy Scout. Number 2, Tombstone. Number 1, Fight Club. Wow, that's harder than it seems, though. Just knowing what you like and standing by that, I think, is important. It's like love and relationships. It's super subjective. Even famous supermodels get divorced, so at some point there is part of love that is based solely on a person, not just how they looked or how they acted. It's the whole ball of wax together. Artistically, just saying you like something is the very, very ground floor. You have to get past that. You have to go into yourself and come out the other side to figure out what it is you like about, well, anything. You have to know yourself first, or else you will just be at Walmart buying wall furniture and filling your life with things that don't represent you. I think the person you choose to spend the rest of your life with is the ultimate subjective representation of yourself. Top 5 fruits. Number 5, apple. 4, orange. 3, kiwi. 2, grape. 1, bananas. Okay, that one was easier. I just think as humans we strive to quantify everything. We're always looking for reviews, looking for other person's opinions so we can have data to form our own opinions. That's why those big review websites are so popular. It's like I need to see what everyone else is thinking before I can decide what I think. I hate that, though. I think whatever you like is just okay. It's just what you like, even if it goes against the grain. If you fall in love with someone you never even thought you would know or talk to or miss locked in a magic room, you just never know what your heart and mind are going to be going for. Top 5 beverages. 5, apple juice. 4, milk. 3, water. 2, Pepsi. 1, Mountain Dew. Preferably super cold, but not with those little bits of ice in it. Top 5 ways I've tried to get out of here. 5, beating the door or window senselessly. Did I mention this room was possessed with magic or something crazy? Did you know if I take a chair at the desk and demolish it against the windows, that the only thing that breaks is me. How karmic, don't you think? I beat my hands bloody on those things, and nothing, not a peep from the other side, not a dent or a crack. Once I tried to beat on the window while one of those skittering things went by, but it ignored me as much as the glass did. Number 4, starting a fire. Okay, so I watched Survivor. I'm smart, right? But man, starting a fire with nothing is pretty hard. I think maybe I failed more because I was scared if I did start a fire, I knew what the next step was. Maybe that wacko that has me in here isn't home that day, and well, burning to death doesn't sound great. Number 3, faking sick. Okay, so I'm not proud of this, but I made myself vomit all over this room one day. I figured, hey, if whoever's out there thinks I'm dying, then maybe I have to go, right? Maybe I contracted a horrible disease from the revolving bookshelf or the magic drawers in the desk. Maybe I'm allergic to ghosts or monsters or whatever is in here with me. I just made myself very sick, and when I got up the next day, all the sick I got and everywhere was gone. Yeah, not proud of that one, but it was worth a shot. Number 2, faking hurt. Well, maybe not faking hurt, but one day I fell down the banister leading down to the door. I had the idea of just ramming myself into the wall until I got a concussion, but my semi-ridiculous parkour attempt, it rounded me up, putting me at the bottom of the stairs, knocked out. When I woke up, I figured, wow, that was a great plan. If I faked dying, then anything would change. That's all I really beg for now, though, is a change. Number 1, getting it over with. I've always thought I was too narcissistic to hurt myself, to kill myself. Honestly, I just felt like it was a huge act of selfishness, and it didn't solve anything, no matter what. Maybe I've never been chemically imbalanced enough to hurt enough, or just to think that was the answer. Honestly, I couldn't imagine that now either. I just put it on the list because it seemed right. It seemed penultimate. It's all about faith. Some people would sit in this room and be permanently scared. Don't get me wrong, I'm scared. But some people wouldn't have the understanding that no matter what, it's going to be okay. No matter what happens next, I know through my own faith in myself, what I believe in, that I'll be all right. There's a movie about that, but it's sort of hard to decipher with all the aliens in the movie. It didn't make the top 5 list. What is meant to be will happen, and ending my life wouldn't get me out of this room. Not the way I want. Not the way that takes me to you. Not the way to end the unsurety of ever seeing you again. Wow, that list was harder than the movie one. All the best. Alright, that concludes part 2 of 3 of Hard Decisions and One-Way Streets. I'd like once again to thank everyone involved, everyone who helped me edit, everyone who just sat and listened to me run on and on about this for the last couple months, and want to make sure I thank Scott and Lexi for their help putting together all the music. I really hope you come back for part 3. It's going to be different, it's going to be interesting, and it's also going to be the end to the story, so we can finally figure out what exactly is going on. Thank you. All the best.